Baudrillard refers extensively to the change of art as it was defined at the time. He claims that art, where things obey a higher set of rules, no longer exists. He says that we experience a change which was inevitable, since the idea that art represents a utopia had been immobilized and paralyzed by its own image and its own riches. He quotes, "Where there is stasis, there is metastasis," and goes on to correlate art, in its paralyzed form, with a form of cancer. If we tried to extend this thought from art to architecture as a form of art, this would imply an architecture that is unconventional and does not abide to pre-existing rules. The change in architecture occurred with the shift from modernism to postmodernism. If modernism was the stasis, postmodernism would be the metastasis, breaking away from the strict norms established by its predecessor. The book was written during the last years of postmodernism, and even though it sometimes seems to converge with postmodernist theory, Baudrillard, much like Robert Venturi, doesn't classify himself as a postmodernist. As far as Baudrillard's ideas about architecture are concerned, he believed that buildings, as well as the act of destroying them, can be symbolical in nature. As monumental buildings represent their respective regimes, so does their demolition represent their downfall. This opinion is made clear in his controversial response to the events of 9/11. The Twin Towers are signs of closure and redoubling, not of a system that can still surpass itself with original edifices. The twinness of the towers remains for Baudrillard the perfect embodiment of today's world order, but there is no longer, at the macro level, two superpowers mirroring one another's irrationality. Binary regulation at this level is over in the triumph of global capitalism. Moreover, Baudrillard mentions that we manufacture a profusion of images in which there is nothing to see because they neither conceal nor reveal anything. If we were to translate Baudrillard's ideas to architecture, it would be a residence designed around a life scenario, with specific roles appointed to each of the tenants. Next, it would be up to the personality of the tenants to accept or deny that role, if they will conform to it or attempt to redefine it. On the contrary, in an anti-Baudrillard scenario, we would have a strict spatial situation where apartment blocks would be arranged around an internal courtyard that allows views through each apartment, thus encouraging surveillance.